podcast, we are doing a bi-weekly seed restream today. Today's seed will be standard hard item pool. These are tournament settings based on 2021's tournament that's up and coming pretty soon. For our runners, we got TDG, Vertz, McMonkey, and Shkoople today. I am your commentator, EsperHubb, and along with me is one of my good commentating friends, Mocha Jones. How you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing today, Esper? Good to be here. Good to be here.
I am doing well, and I am pretty amped up and ready to watch this run unfold. I didn't take the time to run a seed because I decided to opt out to do some more personal matters in real life. But, you know, that's how it is, but that's okay. Hopefully I'm in for a treat, and hopefully I dodged a bullet running this seed.
Well, I believe that any time that we gather together to watch four amazing runners run this wonderful game that we all love, we're always in for a good time.
Always in for a good time until we start looking for the ice rod.
Oh, ice rod, why must you be so cold to all of us?
Giving us all the cold shoulder, I swear. Why can't you be more like your cousin, Fire Rod? Who knows? Maybe Fire Rod is probably gonna be the go mode item for today. At least that's what my predictions are.
We do have the runners getting set up, getting ready to go. And so this is standard, which means that everyone's going to have the exact same opening. So here's going to be my question. What's going to be the weapon that Uncle has, you think?
Oh, I believe it's probably going to be bow and arrows. It's probably one of the more, I feel like that's one of the more frequent ones, frequent starting items, especially for the hard item pool set.
Okay.
But, you know, we could get lucky and get hammer, and that's like a huge get on the start, because that means you have like a few more items that you need to acquire to go in the dark world, and then start mapping out your route from there.
Yes, and since you mentioned it, this is hard item pool. So I believe that hard item pool is set off of the vanilla NMG item pool, which is essentially you lose one sword, you can't get silvers, you don't get medals. Those are going to be replaced by 20 rupees. Speaking of 20 rupees.
That must have been the silvers, but all joking aside, we're off. It is definitely a hard setting to play on, especially if you're first starting out. But another thing to note is just hard item pool, right? It's not hard item difficulty.
Yeah, it's hard item pool, and we do get that hammer from Uncle.
Now, hammer, while it does hammer down pegs that allow you to gain access to a few areas, it is also used as a very useful attacking tool because it does temperature damage. The reach is wonky, but if you know how to use that hammer, it is your best friend when you start out. You don't even have to worry about acquiring swords for a bit unless you have to do Aga.
Well, you know, just for the sake of speed running, we hope not to see Aga 1 today. But for the sake of chat, we want to see Aga 1 so we can count some stuff, you know?
Yeah, we want to see how many blue balls he throws out. He always loves to throw some blue balls out. Yeah, as we see, as we get into the basement of Hyrule Castle, Shkoople is already in there. Not too far off, TDG. Then shortly after, McMonkey and Vertz, side by side, getting down there to hustle on to rescue Zelda.
Yeah, and they are getting rich on the way down, $300. So that's gonna make going places easier. You know, cost money gate.
Yep, money is always in logic. You'll need money to not only pay the publisher, the bottle merchant, to get your free item, you get your item check from there. You also need money to get into the dark world. The Palace of Darkness, Zora Lake's Flipper's cost, and doing the digging game as well as a treasure chest for those other checks.
And thank you, Oro, and thank you, Umaga, for those subs to the Gomo podcast channel. Speaking of Gomo podcast, putting on this amazing seed for us. If you haven't heard them, go listen to them like after this race.
Yeah, they talk about a lot of stuff that's related to the Link to the Past randomizer. They also covered a few tournaments as well that's worth checking out. And they also they also release a bi-weekly seed that runners will run and see how they stack up against one another on a leaderboard based time.
Such as what we have right now.
So far, Shkoople is a little bit ahead with TDG not too far off, and Vertz and McMonkey are on their way too, as they're getting to the second part of the escape sequence of rescuing Zelda. They just need to head on to the sewers and then get to the back of the sanctuary. Now, usually in the situation like this, you'll have to think, will you try to kill an enemy, see if one of them will drop a bomb as part of their prize pool?
Yeah, I can see that happening, especially when we get to the rats in the back. Because there's so many rats back there, they have to drop, hopefully, something for them.
Yeah, and the only drawback is, like, if you don't get a bomb here, you will have to skip out for the last part of the sanctuary where there's a bombable wall there and just keep going. So you'll just most likely need the gloves to get back into there and do your 3 item checks from there. As we see from TDG, checking to see if there was bombs there, killing the snakes, and unfortunately, it does seem like snakes is part of the the prize pool that has bombs in them.
No, it doesn't look like those ropes are quite bombable. So it looks like Scoop was just passing all the rats.
He's probably going for the play of, like, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to wait till I get my gloves first, then we'll go to the back of the sanctuary. I believe the 300 rupees, like, kind of steered him from the direction of trying to farm for a bomb, because you can just buy bombs from the shop and not have to worry about that for a while.
Now, we'll say, these rats are dropping fairies, and if I'm not mistaken, aren't bombs in that prize pack that have the fairies?
Yes, that is correct.
So if someone wants to take the time and farm, they will get bombs.
Yeah, the fairies, like, there we go. Getting 8 bombs there. TDG finally gonna give us our 3 checks. As the other 3 races have passed up this opportunity, we get more bombs, the map, and a sword. That's actually pretty nice to have. Like, you can mark that off. It's not huge since you have the hammer, but if you're not comfortable using the hammer, sword's a good go-to to have as a clutch. But it did cost them some time to get those bombs to bomb that wall. So we'll see how this plays out, because the other 3 racers, they're definitely going to do those checks. Those are like I want to say spear 1, because you still need the gloves to get into them.
And what are those that's in Lost Woods right there?
Ooh, those some boots. I love me some boots, because you go faster with those. But yeah, that's a delightful sight to see at the very start of the race.
And it looks like TDG is diverting from everyone else again, and oh, we have a save and quit from Vertz. I don't think he went into CAC.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to Kakariko from a different way.
Yeah, he's going for the 50-50 bomb drop.
Ah. Well, I would agree with this play if he didn't have rupees, but he has one anyway. So you know what? Power to him for being able to get that. So he's gonna go ahead with he's probably gonna farm these for a bit. I would like to think 3 should be enough to go through. Meanwhile, oh, go ahead.
Let's go say, if you would have gone and pulled a bush crab, they dropped bombs. It looks like.
Interesting. So that's the crabby pros is what I like to call it. But Shkoople showing us the Blind Man's Hut checks here, and we actually get a hook shot, which will be it's one of the very useful tools that you can use, especially when you're in once you have like boots as well. And once you get a sword, you can do some shenanigans with it as well. But Hookshot will allow us to get to East Side Death Mountain from here. So once we do have access to Death Mountain, they can go to East Side and do Paradise Cave, Spiral, and I believe with the hammer, they can do the go to Tower of Hera, if I'm not mistaken. As we get Ice Rod as well from the Kakariko Well.
We also got a Magic Cape.
Magic Cape and yeah, that's I guess our Ice Rod is being chill today. I guess Ice Rod overheard us. So Chicken Hut didn't really yield anything, but that's fine. That's just another check out the way. So let's go to my favorite place, the back of the tavern. And we pick up 20 rupees. That's enough to get you something at least, maybe. I don't know. Not a red potion, unfortunately.
Just throwing that out there, in Blonde's Hut, there was one of those 20 rupee replacement packs, which I'm gonna probably guess was a mail upgrade.
Yeah, it could be a mail upgrade. Could be no, it can't be the sword upgrade just yet, because if that was the case, then that'll be having their fighter swords by now, correct?
For it to be a sword upgrade, we would have to have tempered, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they'll have to have tempered before they can see that 20 for the sword upgrade. It could also be the 20 from the males as well, since those are not in the seed. Shkoople is going to take our first dive into Mini Moldrum Cave using the hook shot. Trying to line up a shot on the other side ones, but having a little bit of issues there. But you know, these little pesky things sometimes they can play nice, and sometimes they don't. We get a whole heart, flippers, 20 rubies, and another 20, and a green rupee, 20 green rupees. So that could be our removed item from the hard item pool here. So with those flippers, I feel like going to Zora is the play here. After checking out the ice cave, like you can do. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say we had a box rot check, so it looks like it's also $20, but we also got a raid from Ben Crichton. So thank you for that raid.
Hello, happy people who have joined us today. We're doing some Link to the Past randomized speed running today, as we get a Cane of Samora from the Ice Cave. This seed, if I didn't know any better, looking pretty jet right now.
This is being pretty generous right now. McMonkey is in desert area, and we are just going all sorts of ways right now.
he decided to check out Agina's cave, and unfortunately, that was just only a piece of heart. So he saved and quit there to save some time, and he's probably gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of the South Shore checks and move on from there. As we get to see what the hobo under the bridge has for us from Shkoople, which is more bombs. You know, I'm okay with like the trash stuff being early because that means the good stuff is backloaded somewhere once you start digging into the scene.
I also want to say, isn't it wonderful to have bombs drop everywhere whenever you needed bombs in Escape?
As always, when you don't need them, they just start spilling out from the chests. But yeah, we're now gonna... Oh, go ahead.
To say we have Shkoople going up the Zora area, checking the Waterfall Fairy Cave, and there's another sword.
So that'll be... So if TDG goes the same route as Shkoople does, he'll have his Master Sword, and he'll be one more sword away from getting his Tempered. Which is great, because you want to have Tempered in this seed. Ganon's gonna be a little bit of a hard fight, because for hard item pool, that means you don't have silvers. You will have to start doing your spins. And if you're not really good at doing your spins, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, and what's is oh, we do not have a scam today. That is the bow. We have a web slinging Zora.
Nice. But yeah, this seed is looking pretty quick right now with all these huge item progressions this early in the game. Though we could hit a drought at somewhere before, so some seeds before have like taught me like do not get excited yet.
Yeah, Shkoople taking that bow and arrow, going straight to Eastern Palace, going to see what Sahasla has for us today.
And in the back of Sahasla, we get a piece of heart, D gloves, and even more money. Whew.
Hub.
Hey. Yeah.
Hub.
Yeah.
Or one item from Dark World Access.
I know, and it's pretty exciting now. Now I can get excited. Now I can get... It's like I was gonna hold my breath a little bit because we haven't gotten gloves yet. And I thought we was gonna have to do a manhunt for them. But hey, they're in the back of Saha's closet, so that's pretty good.
Alright, so we have our first dungeon dip in 15 minutes.
I wonder if Shkoople forgot that he has a sword. He could have dashed through those. Oh, but he decides to use the cane and dash through that. Okay.
And that has some more protection.
I wouldn't call the shield more protection, to be honest. That's just a prelude to something terrible. Because then you're gonna end up picking up the fighter sheet, the big red fighter shield, and then you get the dreaded mirror shield, and that chunky big yellow shield is just a pain to hold.
Okay. To enlighten you, since we just got the lamp, we do not get a mirror shield in hard item pool.
Oh, that's right. I guess that's another reason why I don't like hard item pools. You just don't get the butter shield. Well, yeah, the butter shield.
Yeah, you do not get yellow items in hard item pool. Right. Except for the bow. The bow is technically yellow, I guess.
Yeah, while we were talking about that, Shkoople did pick up the lantern, and that will be very helpful for the dark rooms if you're not confident in traveling in dark areas here, especially when you're doing the dark maze and Palace of Darkness, as well as Misery Mire's dark areas.
And TDG just got his Master Sword.
And he is one away from going to be in tempered range. Meanwhile, most of our compadres here, Vertz and McMonkey, they're getting the job done, and they're doing their best to get to the palace as well.
So we are going to converge really quickly here, except Shkoople will probably be leaving by the time TDG gets in here.
Yeah, that looks like will be the situation here. So, with hammer, gloves, and the lantern, that puts nearly all of Lightworld's Death Mountain into logic.
Yes, it does. Oh. But you also know what else that puts in logic? Aga Tower.
Oh, that's correct. Because Master Sword was in the back of Sanctuary.
We also have Cape.
And Cape. Oh me. This could be an Agassiz. If that is, unless we find the Moon Pearl in Death Mountain. Because with the items that they got so far, they can't really progress anywhere else after Eastern Palace as much. I mean, they could probably still do like a few one-off checks here and there, but Death Mountain has to be the play here unless we get something major going.
And that was a pretty good fight by Shkoople, getting their first crystal of the game.
One crystal down, six more to go, and it's 18 minutes in. Pretty good time, if you ask me. Good pacing.
Yes, I would agree with that. And we have a save and quit, and we are going to Sank. I wonder, are we going to check the back of Escape, or are we going up the mountain?
I feel like, yeah, back of Escape will be the first plan of action. You get this out the way because you haven't came back here yet, and now that you have bombs, you go back here just to mark it off your list. You don't want to.
I was gonna say, you will be rewarded by getting that sword right now. Here.
Yeah. One thing to do, make note of, you shouldn't orphan a lot of items, because if you do, that will come and burn you in the later run of the seed, especially when it's easily accessible. There's one thing of doing gambles, and that's fine. A lot of things are not guaranteed in a random seed like this, but if you skip past easier items that you can get to, it can have a detrimental effect on your progression.
Shkoople going to check Lumberjack Cave, which I believe TDG checked, and it was a red item, not cane. $20.
Yeah, just a 20 there. But if they do not find the Moon Pearl, actually, wait, I just realized this. They don't really have to worry about the Moon Pearl being in Dark World, because they have all the items that they need to get into Dark World to begin with. So Death Mountain does have, by logic thinking, should have the Moon Pearl somewhere here. It could be in Paradox, Spiral, or in Tower of Hera.
Yeah, several places that it could be up here, if it's up here.
If it's not up here, then that means there has to be a few items here. Namely, I want to call it the book that will lead us into getting in the Moon Pearl.
Now, Shkoople is kind of scaring me here with trying not to dodge these cabbages.
Well, he gets a free heal back here, so he should be good afterwards. And it's gonna go ahead and take the time to check the top where Spectacle Rock is at to see what these two checks have for us. And we get some bombs. I'll go ahead.
I was gonna say, I like this play just to make sure that you don't need to have the mirror to come get whatever's on top of there.
And you can just easily drop down like what he's doing right now and just keep going. It's a good loop around, especially when you first enter in Death Mountain. But now we're going to get to the fun part of Death Mountain, which is checking out Paradox Cave.
Yes, Paradox Cave, where the bottom is the top and the top is the middle, and whatever is going on in whatever vortex it is.
Yeah, it's a little weird place, but it has a lot of checks for us as we get 2 whole hearts at the top part, I believe.
Can we call that the Doctor Who room then?
I don't remember most of these names, unfortunately. But I do know these checks should bring some good as we pull 20 rupees, piece of heart, Titan's mitts, and there is our moon pearl.
We have nearly full Dark World access. I say nearly full because we don't have Mire access yet.
Yeah, we do not have Mire access, nor we do not have Fire Rod yet. And from the looks of it, I would like to think that Fire Rod and the medallion that grants you access to the medallions, I feel like that's in Dark World as well. But yeah, this is looking pretty jet here with that Titan's Mitt being there.
Yeah, chat is saying game is free now.
It is really, really free. Best part about this is that Shkoople can now go into the dark world of Death Mountain and check out Hookshot Cave, which yields more checks, and see where that goes from after Super Money Hop Cave.
I just want to point out something McMonkey just did. McMonkey used a rarely seen tech where you pick up a Mario block and hold it over your head when you have the old man, so you increase your speed.
Interesting. Meanwhile, some shenanigans are being done with Shkoople, trying to clip into the pot here, and as he does it first try very cleanly to get to our boss, Mr. Mort, pretty quickly.
Chat is arguing about the fact apparently the Mario block is slower.
Huh. There's our fire. Are you serious?
Flamethrowers in a room full of flamethrowers?
Hey, works for me, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty wild. But yeah, that's some, and of course Morty giving us the standard handshake here. Welcome to Link to Bass Randomized. I get to push you off for a bit if you're not careful.
Yeah, since they have Master Sword, it should. Ooh, that was so close, but it should be 3 Master Sword spins for this troll to go down.
And down he goes indeed. Though at the very least, he knocked Shkoople down one, so he gets to score a point.
So I'm just gonna say this: there's an item left in the basement.
Yeah, and I wonder if Shkoople's gonna make the gamble into skipping out on it. And he does. Worst case scenario, he last locations the last item to progress to finishing the seed. Best case scenario, he skips out on wasting time on the coffee break room in order to go into go mode. Which I believe it's fair. It's not fair, but which I believe it's sensible in this case. You have a lot of items that you have as progression already. You can skip out on a chest to see if you can save time or whatnot. You have a lot of dungeons that you can probably finish. You have the Dark World access that you really needed to be able to get more checks in. We can skip out on the coffee break room chest for now. As we get an overworld check, it seems like we're going to be doing Turtle Rock today, but Ice Palace and the Skull Woods dungeons have pendants in them. But however, that does not discount them for having the items needed to be in go mode. And that is something that you always should pay attention to. Just because the dungeons that you're looking at could be pendants doesn't mean that they have progression items. Like, I think the only thing that we need to do now is like look for medallions to get into Turtle Rock, as well as Misery Mire.
So did you know that to get into Mire, you need either Bombos or Quake?
Yeah, it's really weird how that works out. But as we get a visual from Shkoople, you do need Bombos to get into Turtle Rock. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We will also need the flute in order to get to Misery Mire, so there's that as well. As we get a mushroom in the first chest of Hookshot Cave, Piece of Heart, then we got, oh wow, that got a little blurry. I couldn't tell what check was that. It looks like one of the medallions, though.
It's Quake.
Hopefully that's the entry for our Misery Mire.
So we have a divergence. Vertz went back in. Vertz is doing the coffee break.
Oh boy. If it has bombos, I will be shocked and amazed.
Alright, chat. Is this gonna be worth it for Vertz?
Versus going ahead and setting up to... Oh, he didn't successfully set up the invisibility. If you stand on the switch pegs at not at a certain place, but if you stand on top of them as the switch is being activated, you'll get some invisibility frames, and that'll allow you to like sit there and just relax without having to worry about the tiles smacking you upside the head. But thankfully, he didn't have to go through it that much, so...
It looks like Vertz is setting up for a death warp. I think that's what was happening. And this has...
Oh my! Oh boy. You don't have to death warp now, that's for sure. That's huge.
Now, we have 3 runners who don't have mirror.
And the big question is, yeah, they all did more, and then they decided to skip out on the coffee break room. So Vertz is the only one that probably has a clean advantage. Should they not go, well, okay, worst case scenario, like I said before, they last location it when they go back to there. So if Vertz plays it right and gets Swamp Palace cleared as soon as possible, once he gets into go mode, he should be ahead.
We have Shkoople in. Let's say we have Shkoople in pod here.
Yeah, Shkoople's in pod, making quick work as he gets to the right side of the doesn't do these checks. What are they doing outside? There's our big key, though.
We now have a spot cave check.
Ooh. Does he have an... Oh, okay. He has the cave. Okay. I was about to say, does he even have enough health to go through all this? And then I realized, oh, wait, they got the cave. And it's just some bombs. That's rather unfortunate, but at least he got that check out the way.
Shkoople is right now trying to do pog clip. But just decided to bunk over.
But yeah, as the chat was discussing, there was the same sentiments that I kind of had about it when I was first mentioning like skipping the coffee break room chess. That's a gamble, but didn't think it'll have the mirror. But yeah, that is the reason why nothing is guaranteed in these randomizers. Sometimes you have to taste the risk, and sometimes you just have to be thorough. As TDG shows us in the King's Tomb, that is another sword upgrade. So that's his temper. That's their temper. Yeah, his temper. So if he gets another one, it'll just be $20 instead.
Looks like TDG is heading to Thieves Town area.
This is one of the more common. I want to say the more common plays. Once you actually have access to Dark World, you just go to Thieves Town and to do Skull Woods, as well as loop around into Bumper Cave or go into the Thieves Town itself, or go into Thieves Town directly. Personally, even though I know Skull Woods is a pendant, I will go there just to do the 4 checks in the first part of the dungeon, and then leave from there. That way, if I did come across like the Mombo's medallion in this situation, I would at the very least have a progression that will allow me to keep going forward.
And Vertz is turning in that mushroom.
And we will take a look at what's in store for us for our reward for turning in that mushroom. Unfortunately, it's a piece of heart.
I don't see a piece of heart there.
Huh.
I see that Vertz without the mushroom.
It's mysteriously vanished. But yeah, Vertz doing the play of checking the mushroom prize, and unfortunately, with it being a piece of heart, he decided, you know what, I can just reset it, save the mushroom, and use that mushroom to fake powder when I need to, and that is a viable strategy in these randomizers, because Magic Bat could have the thing needed to go into go mode. As we get from Hype Cave, money, 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 make it rain. Okay, maybe stop. That's loads of money, though, by the way.
All right, so Vertz, I believe, is going into Swamp. Now,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with this play because it is a very high density of checks.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
And he can do it right now.
Yep. Thanks to the fact that he pulled out the mirror in the coffee break room, this is the best plan of action. Going in here to get these checks out the way, as well as get the crystal. And I do believe it is a red crystal, so he wants to check the pyramid as well. So that's also a few more checks along the way. And then he can just go ahead into pod afterwards, which is some pretty good routing, if I say so myself.
I believe Mars the red crystal.
Oh, wait, I'm reading that wrong. Yeah, you're right. Maya is the red crystal. Oops. Excuse me.
Alright, and we have a dead Helmosaur.
Shkoople cleaning that fight up pretty well as we get 10 arrows from Helmsaur himself. And a crystal. So that's 2 for... Well, that's 3, I mean. No, wait. Yeah, 3. 3 crystals down. Only 4 more to go.
Yeah, the issue, though, with Shkoople is need that mirror for Swamp.
Yeah. And we're going to be playing the game. How long will it take till Shkoople last location that? Or how long will Shkoople realize he needs to go there to check that chest? Well, actually, all three of the other runners besides Vertz, to be honest. How long will they take before they go back to the coffee break room to get that mirror to be able to do Swamp Palace?
Now, we'll say that Vertz has a clear advantage in Pod because from the big chest, he can mirror. Everyone else has to either Death Warp or go through Harmless Hellway.
Yes, that is correct. And I'm speaking of deaths, unfortunately, McMonkey ended up taking a death. I think was that intentional or not?
Yeah, it was a Death Warp.
Okay. But yeah, he had to do a death warp. Okay. I looked away and saw him die. Well, I looked back and saw him like immediately dying, unfortunately. But yeah, death warping takes a lot of time. And that is only because you don't have the mirror. Mirror allows you to get back to the start of the dungeon pretty quickly without having to have a painful way of doing it.
We had TDG doing blind, and the quote is, Maya requires ether, bombos, or quake.
It's really cute. We got ourselves a comedian here.
We have Vertz doing Argus with Master Sword. Everyone else is on Tempered.
Well, that's because he didn't check King's Tomb. He immediately, like the moment he had mirror, he immediately went to here. So that you cannot blame him for like not going to King's Tomb when he had like the mirror to get to here at the very least to clear a dungeon that the 3 will have probably will take the time to clear much later.
Now, TDG did get the flute, and I want to say in Thieves Town, I didn't see what chest it was. I think it actually might drop from Blonde, if I'm not mistaken. So, get those 07s in chat while TDG activates that flute.
Alright, it's a national anthem.
As we have Vertz taking down Argus with the Master Sword.
So from here, I feel like he's gonna go ahead to Thieves Town next. Either Thieves Town or Pod. Pod will probably make the most sense, though, to be honest.
Ooh, and we have TDG going to the Mire area, and it requires Bombos today.
Oh boy, so if one of our runners find Bombos, they're in for a treat. That's for sure.
This seed is the Bombos.
While our runners are going through the paces, I'd like to mention that you should give them a follow on their respective Twitch channels. And while you're at it, why don't you give a follow to Gomo Podcast Twitch channel? They cover a lot of stuff, and they also do some restreams like the one you see today. On top of that, give a follow to Mocha Jones, my co-commentator for today. Our trackers, who are doing a fantastic job keeping us updated on the item count otherTom and Malmo, as well as our Restreamer today, who's doing the godlike work, Cinaeth. Ugh. I was about to say Cynthia for a moment. Oh my goodness. My brain is auto-correcting a lot today.
All right, and now it's the time of the seed, where we have runners going over where each other have been.
I am sorry I said it. It's just I see the CIN and went like sin and then TH, and my brain just kind of auto-completed itself on that one.
And just for that, go ahead and give EsperHubb a follow as well, since he's not going to shout himself out.
I mean, why would you follow me? I sit and complain about why do I not get this progression item that I needed a lot. And then pack scream whenever I do low percent Mafila.
Isn't that everyone, though? Just about.
I don't know. There's some people that got like nerves of steel dealing with that. And from the looks of it, our runners probably may not have to deal with Mahula today. Shkoople is making quick work of the blind boss, following the script to a T.
I'm going to say that we do have a fire shield, which I don't believe McMonkey's done blind. So that'll make that fight a little bit more manageable. Just cause us little pea shooters that he shoots at us. If they hit the shield, they won't hit us.
Yeah, the big red shield that you can get blocks certain ball projectiles, is what I like to call it. That gets speed out every now and then. It doesn't block like the huge ones or the laser beams, but it blocks a decent amount of projectiles that allow you to comfortably do that fight well. Meanwhile, Vertz is prepping up for what we like to call hammer up.
We gotta hammer up.
First try, all the time. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Now, I'm gonna say it's interesting that Vertz went this way because he does have the mirror, but I guess going this way you can check the harmless hellway and just walk out the front.
Yep. This is not bad routing when you think about it. And let's see who is. Oh, Shkoople is going to do our blacksmith turn-in. Just showing our buddy around the world for a bit.
In the words of the Daft Punk, who is no longer making amazing music, around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world.
You know, to be honest, they had a very fantastic run. They did a lot of great music. McMonkey is going through the Thieves Town shenanigans as well. He will definitely be getting his mirror. I mean, not his mirror, but his flute. As we get TDG, I think he's also, well, he's that. He is going through the paces of Pod. Well, Vertz is on the last.
Get more O7s in chat for Shkoople.
Free the bird. So I'm kind of curious. All right. So we know where all the items, well, most of the items are at. The real, except for one, which is Bombos, which is what they'll need to be in go mode for the looks of it. How long do you think our runners will take to get to that point?
All right, so what we need to do here is think of all the places that they can check before they go back up the mountain, which would be turning the mushroom, yeah, unless they save Gummit, which would be speak Quakefish, hammer pegs. Oh, and TDG set up that death work perfectly.
Very nice.
And Shkoople has not been to the dam yet.
He's probably wondering if the mirror is here, which is why he went here. But I didn't think he kind of surprised he didn't do this yet, to be honest. But I think he was playing on the gamble because since the other runners are doing it, he'll skip out on this until he needs to do more checks. And unfortunately, he sees his dismay that there's just only bombs. So he's going to probably check. Yep, he's checking the cliff, and then he's going to check Myers Shed, and then he's going to go from there.
So we are, if I'm not mistaken, one item from no mode, and that is where the Bombos is. Because we know where Flute is, which McMonkey's about to get when he beats Blonde here. And I think Vertz is heading into Thieves Town as well. It looks like he's setting up for that.
I still feel like if you're gonna go here, you go to, at the very least, not Thief Town, but Skullwoods first. Go to Skullwoods first to do the 4 item checks, and hopefully your item that you'll need there is there, which would be the Bombos medallion. But I digress.
Now, I do want to point out that in the Marshed, there was $20 in there. So I'm wondering, was that a sword? Or are we to heart percent right now?
I think so. But you know, I'm just kind of wondering which dungeon will be next, to be honest. But I feel like once Shkoople comes out of here, we'll figure out where he will be going.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, I believe they can do just about every pendant dungeon except for desert.
Yeah, with no book, they won't be able to get access, nor they don't have the mirror, so they can do Skull Woods though. You know, that's a thing, right? You know, just hint, hint, wink, wink, Skull Woods. You know.
Here's a good question: will Vertz go to Skullwoods when he gets his flute?
I feel like when you're doing Thieves Town and you finish it, I feel like you should be going to Skull Woods, either before or after Thieves Town. Like, there's no reason why you should skip on Skull Woods, even if it's a pendant. If you're gonna do Skull Woods, you check the 4 checks there, and then you leave out, and then check Bumper Cave afterwards.
Yeah. Chat. Loot is on blind.
Though, if he pulls out the flute, he's been more inclined to go into the light world, free the bird, and then fly to Myers Shed at this point. So the flute could steer him away from going to do Skull Woods to see if we can get more knowledge of where the Bombos could be at or which checks will be there. See, this is the fun of randomized. You just don't know what could happen next. Literally.
Like a quick check. And it's a piece of heart.
Unfortunate.
TDG gets his mirror or his fire shield.
Big old fire shield. It's blocking all the fires.
And Lazy Kid had something for us. A heart maybe, a sword, armor, who knows.
It looks like Shkoople is going to go take a dive into Ice Palace first. You know what? I guess I can understand this plan of route.
As opposed to McMonkey, currently in Skull Woods as well. So we have 2 pendant checks right here.
All right, let's see the goods. Let's see them goods. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't a key in the first chest of Skullwood, so the monkey is going to go to the second part of Skullwoods to see if the other chests will have the key or at least an item, hopefully bombos, but he's going to do some more checks. That's the map. Thanks, Seed. I hate it.
So blind is down for Vertz. He gets his crystal and more importantly that flute. So I expect a mirror promptly here.
Mirror.
Activate that flute.
Yeah. Yep. Free the bird. We gotta free the bird.
Where was the bottle? I missed the bottle. Where was it?
I missed it too, unfortunately. But yeah, Vertz is getting mileage off of his mirror. Like, very, very well.
And Vertz heading immediately to 6, going to desert area.
Yep, I'm gonna do the Meyer Shed check as well as check to see which medallion Meyer will need in order to get access to it. This is pretty standard.
But Monkey taking down Moth, getting a big key and a green medallion. A green pendant.
Yeah, green pendant. Not only that'll allow him to get the Saha prize, but that big key should help him get access to the last bit of dungeon checks that's needed in here.
Yeah, and Vertz switching to mirror, going to do some checks here. I wonder if he'll dip in the desert since he's right here.
Yeah, he's checking he's gonna check around the area first before doing anything thanks to the mirror. Meanwhile, we get Shkoople going for the Ice Palace boss fight. Hopefully the Ice Boss has the Bombos medallion that we're looking for here.
I thought Vertz was going to jump off there because that mirror location was really on the edge there. Frustration slash from TDG as still no mirror. There's a big key on the torch. There is a pendant get for Shkoople.
Unfortunately, Bombos is not in there. Meanwhile, McMonkey is doing our checks for the rest of Skullwoods. Small keys here and there. Forgot which was the item that he picked up here. Unless he's doing that. And that's the blue cane. So yeah, just unfortunately he murdered the master the wall hand master. So he's just gonna take the long way around.
Yep, and right now, Vertz is getting the bombos. Oh my
there
word.
we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in 57 minutes, Vertz is in his go mode as he desperately tries to get back into the portal. Unfortunately, he can't.
That's a dangerous place to portal. But chat, y'all got something to say? Chat saying that it'd be pretty evil if you need mirror to get bombos from desert.
The foreshadowing is disgusting. Yeah, Vertz is cracking open Misery Mire. But yeah, you're correct in that Vertz may just go ahead and finish the rest of the seed with just Master Sword. And that could be a very, very lengthy process.
It's a good thing that he has half magic.
Yeah, half magic is definitely something you should be very grateful for acquiring in the hard item pool set, because you're going to be doing a lot of spins on Ganon, and you need to make sure you have the efficient amount of magic in order to keep doing it, especially if you're not on point with it. Like, if you're not on point on your spins, you're going to end up probably using a bottle. Speaking of which, Vertz does not have a bottle just yet. Maybe along the way he'll be able to get a bottle, but I feel like getting a bottle here will be an idea for hard mode. Like, one bottle, have it as blue or gray, and you're set to go.
I would probably say blue, seeing as how we are sitting on green mail.
Yep, green mail is kind of a hard pill to swallow in this kind of a run.
Yeah, those Ganon hugs hurt a lot.
And he's very heavy-handed. You gotta tell him to like lay off on just like the arm strength of the grasp of the hold that he does. But I guess that's what you call it, Death's Embrace. You can't see it, but I'm making a stupid cheesy smile right now.
And Vertz has this big key, and taking a fun route to get to the back of Mire.
But to answer the question, Vortex, to answer the question, Vertz was actually the first one that went to the back of Escape, since he farmed for the 8 bombs from there to get the sword. He is missing the King's Tomb sword, which will get him his tempered.
So one good thing about Vertz failing that mirror location, was he could set up for spooky action, which we haven't seen right now.
Ah, that's right, spooky action. It allows you to do some very weird things, but the gist of it is your fire rod's range will go ridiculously long, and it'll hit it'll hit the switch by doing so. Now it's time for Viddy, which is pretty. Thankfully, half mail makes it not so bad. Half magic, I mean, not half mail. Ugh.
I don't know if we need half mail.
Will that be like a crop top?
And Vertz gets his tempered.
That is something very pleasant to see. So that was our 20 rupee for sword upgrade for the other three. That's amazing.
And you want to know something?
Yeah.
That's gonna be really nice when you have to go to T-Rock to face a Tronex.
Yeah.
And not have the menu to hammer to get those better hits.
Yeah, that's one of the huge benefits. Yes, indeed. Like, even though your hammer does tip its sword damage, you have to menu to it. And that can cause you to lose a lot of time, especially when you're going through menus to get switch your fire sword, your fire rod, stun the ice head, switch back to the hammer, bonk on it to like 2 or 3 times, then switch back to the ice rod, and all that other stuff. But yeah, it is Vertz race to lose if he like messes up a lot. Like, I don't see anything going wrong here unless he like messes up a lot on his execution.
And that's I also want to say that was a very clean coaster fight from McMonkey.
That is an excellent run of that fight. Yep. It does look like Shkoople went back to Death Mountain. It seemed like he was wondering if the item that he needs is in the Spike Cave, close but no cigar. There's gonna be some bombs for him. He's gonna save and quit, and then he's probably gonna. You know what? I hope he goes back up the mountain to check the coffee break room because that will help him out a lot. It looks like that's the case today. It may be he may be catching up to Vertz pretty soon.
Yes. And oh, there's a big key in the spike room in TR.
Oh, man. That means is that that's actually pretty fantastic. All Vertz needs to do now is get his small keys, steal a key from Pookie, and then just start going on his merry way. I agree. This is why you don't skip Hera Basement.
No, this is a great tourney practice seed. To remind everyone, gambles can hurt. I would say.
Yeah, I agree. But then the problem is, if you're too thorough, then you may lose time trying to get through the rest of the checks compared to skipping out on a few checks.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 of gambles.
But you know, that's fine. Like, sometimes you are on point or very fortunate to come across the items that you get, and sometimes you just take 3 hours to find them, unfortunately. TDG clearing up his Mothula fight. Just getting a little bit hairy over there, but you know, he handled that pretty well, getting his green pendant. But yeah, that is something I do Had to wonder why they skipped out on the chest myself, to be honest. And Shkoople gets his mirror.
And now we have sparked a debate in chat about whether to check Hera Basement or not if there's an item. It's one of those things you just got to. You have to gamble on whether or not you feel like it's the right move. It's a gamble. That's the point of it being a gamble. It's a gamble.
Yep. Wait, what's LSS?
I don't think Vertz went to Left Side Swamp.
Oh yeah, he skipped it. Yeah, he totally did skip it. That's pretty wild, to be honest. Especially when you're one item away from go mode.
Let's just say, which we know now was fun to skip because Vertz is in go mode.
Shkoople is now following the tracks of Vertz. Well, the old tracks of Vertz, because Vertz been here since, like, I think around the 30 or 40 minute, no, not 30 minute mark. I want to say earlier than that.
And we have McMonkey heading to the coffee break.
Yeah, it looks like it's his turn to find out that Mirror was in the coffee break room. Meanwhile, TDG is going to turn in the green pendant prize for us. And we know that's going to be nothing but a piece of heart.
Alright. While Vertz is finishing off this dungeon, finish off Trondex, I'm just going to talk a little bit about something that's coming up here shortly in this plate. It's called Ganon's Tower. As you know, there's this game that we would like to play where we need numbers between 1 and 22. And one of those numbers, not yet, but one of those numbers will be the location of Ganon's Tower Big Key. And if you, I don't know if we have the bot here, I can't remember if we have it here, but if you get that right, you will have my undying love and also some cool internet points. And we have our 7th crystal here, and we have a short run to Ganon's Tower, so get those guesses in chat. What's your guess typically?
I guess it's going to be 15. I feel like 15 is going to be the number today where the big key will pop up at.
Yeah, I typically go with 6.
You might have to type that in again.
But when someone takes my 6, I go with 13.
Nice. That's a nice alternative number to go fall back on. Take your 6 back. All right, and we're off. Our first item is the big key. Well, now that's
the number of the counting is 1, and the number of the count, and 1 should be the number of the counting. And our winner is Vortex of Doom. Getting that.
Who would have thunk it? Big key on torch. You love to see it happen. And Vertz doing a fantastic work clearing out the first set of mimics. Now it's time for another one. And another. And now he is on his way to the rest of the gauntlet.
And while we have all of our runners going through, go ahead and again give these runners a follow. Vertz, Shkoople, McMonkey, and TDG. They are navigating this amazing seed if you gamble, but horrible if you don't gamble. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. But give these runners a follow. They're amazing. They're each amazing in their own way. Also, give my co-commentator EsperHubb a follow. Our amazing trackers Malmo and otherTom, our amazing Restreamer, Cinaeth, and hey, there's this place called the Go Mode Podcast. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they have this amazing podcast that comes out every other week. And I believe they have a podcast coming out this coming Wednesday. So go get ready, wherever podcasting app you use, go give them a listen. Join the Discord. You can find this seed or any of the past bi-weekly seeds that have been run archived in the Discord there.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's a pretty fun experience. Also, don't forget to give a follow to Michael Jones here. Doing a fantastic work along with me as we cover the rest of the seed, as Vertz is just plowing through the pig guards. Unfortunately, he just got stopped dead in his tracks.
And we have Shkoople doing left side swap.
Getting the big key while he's at it. That's vanilla big key, by the way. So yeah, in the no major glitches category, the big key, the vanilla location for it would be right there. But yeah, the search for bombos for Shkoople continues, but he'll soon realize that it's there's a palace pendant dungeon. Remember when I said that pendant dungeons, you can't discount them for being pendants? They could have your item of progression. Yeah, I remember that moment too.
So you're clairvoyant. We have chat being clairvoyant, saying, "Hey, it would be so evil if Bombos was mirror locked."
Oh dear. What was the purple chest now that I thought about it?
I don't recall. And now we have TDG going up the mountain, hopefully going into his coffee break to get his mirror.
Meanwhile, Vertz is on Aga 2 fight, doing some spins, only getting a single off of that one. But then again, those placements are pretty weird.
Chat, I don't know. Chat, I don't know how that happened. So I'm just gonna say this, which Vertz is about to drop into Ganon with no bottles.
Yeah, that's a worrying thing to think about right now. I mean, he has to play this really, really clean. Like, he has to do the Ganon fight really clean, and I mean like triple spins. Otherwise, he'll have a hard time. He'll have a really, really hard time. As if he didn't have a hard time before.
we have Vertz in his Cinaeth fight. Wow.
Going into
At
second phase.
At 1 hour, 17
Good
minutes and some change, Shkoople is in go mode.
All right. Excellent phases from Vertz there. As he now enters in the third phase of the Ganon fight, he just needs to give him a good whack and let the tiles start dropping for the final phase.
Yep, and Vertz has his slamp out, getting ready for that torch glitch, which
Yes.
will save magic and time.
It looked like he was going to prep up for a spin, but he started to opt out in that, which is a smart move to be able to assure that he gets this torch glitch going.
Now, I wonder if Vertz will set up for any triples.
He can if Ganon moves close enough to the torch, but like so. But he has to have his. Oh, wait, there we go. That's 2. Can we get one more? That's 3. And now he's in good pacing to do so. There we go. Once you start getting once you get your first triple, you're in a good
Oh, it's too far in that corner there.
Yeah, he's way too far out. But that's good. He got 2 triples. That makes this fight less, a lot more easier to manage now. From that. And down goes the big man. Didn't need a green potion. Or blue. Or a bottle for that.
Or bottle at all.
Who needs bottles?
What is bottle? And with the official Restream GG time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, 53 seconds, we have Vertz in first place on the Restream. Get those GGs in chat for Vert.
Well played, as our first placement has been claimed. Shkoople is working towards finishing the seed off as well as he goes into Misery Mire. Once he finishes here, he'll be doing the shuffle to get into Turtle Rock, and he's gonna tidy up the seed from here. Meanwhile, McMonkey, he is going into Desert Palace to get his big item of the seed, the Bombos Medallion, and he is going to be following suit to finish the seed up as well. TDG is covering the bases for Swamp Palace. He may be going to left side Swamp to see if Bombos is there or for any other medallion or not. But yeah, he's just going to go straight for the boss. No, he could go back to left side Swamp. I feel like in a situation like this, logically speaking, or in a sense of being defensive, you would do left side Swamp to see if the item is there, especially if you just came back from getting there from coffee break room. That would taught me a lesson, like, you know what, let me go ahead and take care of left side Swamp from here.
You know, you can also feel behind, and it's like, it's probably nothing. Let's just get this over with and go. Go get dungeons done.
The situation gambles are real, as we are joined by our runner Vertz. Nice to have you drop in. Good work out there.
Yeah, thanks. I think this is a PB for any kind of standard or open mode for me, for sure.
Yeah, it's a really impressive time, but the way how this seed lined up was pretty jet until you took the gamble. No, I wouldn't say gamble. You just said, let me go back into Tower of Hera and check coffee break. And that just decided the rest of this race.
Yeah, once I saw that, I had been setting up a death warp down there, and I got down to 3 hearts before I opened the chest. And then I saw the mirror, and I was like, "Oh, that was okay. I don't need this death warp anymore."
Yeah, we were laughing a little bit about that. Like, yeah, you have to do a death warp. It takes a while for you to do that, and the moment you got the mirror, like, well, we don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, my thing is I really hate going back to the mountain for just like one check. So if I can do all the things while I'm there, I might as well do it. So I think that helped me. In the past, it has hurt me. So this time it worked out, though.
Yeah, as I explained earlier in the seed when we were where we were talking about decisions like that, like not everything is guaranteed. So it's just you just have to make those decisions and hope it plays out well for you. And in this case, you went back to get the chest, and that played huge in the part for you to, well, the deciding factor for you to get the first place today. And what a very impressive time too. This seed is pretty jet.
Yeah, it was something. It was funny when I finished the mountain. I think I only needed Bombos for Turtle Rock, Flute to get to Mire, and then whatever I needed for Mire. And I think that was all I needed at that point. So my feeling was just like, do all the dungeons that I can do, skip left side swamp because I only need 2 items. And if it works out, it works out. And if it does not, that's okay.
I mean, Vertz, you gambled like perfectly, even going to check the torch first. Like,
I laughed. Man, that big key was so funny.
I was ready for it to be in the tower room, to be honest.
Yeah, I had fun this seed. There were a couple of placements that made me laugh, like the sword on Biddy. When I finished Mire, I killed him and I was like, oh, that would have been nicer with a tempered sword, but that was okay. Oh, hey. That's a pretty sweet tempered sword. Thanks, dude. So, heard my wish.
Would you like to know where the 4th sword is that you couldn't get?
Yeah, where
it was in King's Tomb, and you never took a route over there.
That's funny. I started going over there before I went to Thieves Town, and then I changed my mind.
Yeah, we noticed that. It's like, oh, you're going to get your temper sword. No, you're going to clear dungeons, which that's exactly what I would have done, would be clear dungeons, which in this case worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
For what you did.
Yeah. ABCD. Always be clearing dungeons.
Exactly. It was funny, like, realistically, I probably should have just gone to King's Tomb. I was already there, pretty much. But, you know, it worked out in the end, I think.
Like, there's no time, though. You need to finish dungeons. Yeah, it looks like everyone else now is, like, cleaning up after they came back to Death Mountain now. Shkoople is on his way to... on his way to the last part of Turtle Rock. We had McMonkey finishing his Vertz fight, so he's probably going to head over to Turtle Rock now as we get TDG entering the Misery Mire as well. Like, everyone else is like slowly following suit now. Soon enough, they'll be finishing up the seed pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. It certainly seems like I lucked out with that mirror. Just kind of looking at everybody's location here.
Yeah, that mirror, like, this seed, that's all I can say about that mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. Those kind of placements are for sure annoying. You know, I'm happy to hang out here and, you know, talk more about the seed, but definitely want to focus on the other runners here and make sure they're getting some limelight too. They're working hard out here too.
Oh yeah, and
that's for sure.
we do have Shkoople heading. He has to do Laser Bridge to get the small key, so that way he can go face Tronex.
Yeah, for some reason, did he steal the key from Pokey or just went directly to here? Kind of surprised, but there's his key, and now he's heading towards the last remaining rooms. Meanwhile, McMonkey is just now entering Turtle Rock, so he'll be on his way to finishing the seed soon. And TDG is now getting to the last part of the. Well, not getting to the last part, but he's on his way to get to the big key. And I forgot where that location was in here.
Right here. So almost has synchronized bit key pickups.
Shkoople finishing the two heads in a timely manner as we await for the big man, the big snake, to come out. So that 20 there must have been one of the mail upgrades.
I think it was a heart. I think we got all of our mails at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after a certain point, it feels like, oh, every 20 here now is a something. Probably a heart. That Shkoople is making his climb up the mountain. Or up GT. Will he make the gamble and go left?
And he is going left. Gonna get his big key. And then he's gonna immediately get his small key and leave out, and then go ahead into the rest of the Gaddis Tower. I did the mistake when I was doing this during the mentor tournament. Like, I had the same situation where Big Key was on board, and then I switched to Mirror, and before I even lift up the pot to get the key, I hit the button to teleport out.
Oh no.
It was some tournament nerves back then.
Yep, that's real. This wasn't even a tournament, and I was like, well, I mean, it's tournament practice seed, so trying to get my mind in that kind of mental state.
Yeah.
And I know like these folks I was racing are pretty solid. I think they have all beaten me at some point that I'm aware of. So going into Ganon, I was like, oh no, I wasn't sure how I was doing. I felt pretty good. I just had no clue.
Yeah, we were kind of like worried that you didn't have a bottle at first, but then you had half magic, and you was able to do the torch glitch, so you was perfectly much in the clear.
Yeah, that half magic was a very nice find.
Alright, McMonkey is heading... Oh, McMonkey also doesn't have a key, so it has to do Laser Bridge.
Did no one steal the key from the Pokey? Or am I just missing something?
I believe Big Chest had a key. If they skip Big Chest, then no key.
Oh, okay. That explains it.
Monkey getting pretty low. I wonder if he'll open up that safety door. Doesn't look like it.
Oh,
Big Chest does have that fairy in the bottle.
Yeah, he has a free mulligan in case something goes bad. Meanwhile, Shkoople is clearing out the Wiz robes, heading towards the third part of Gauntlet. Once he gets up to the stairs to face Morny, he'll be facing Aga 2. And from there will be a little bit of smooth, well, I wouldn't say smooth sailing yet. Ganon is liable to just give you a death embrace.
Yes, and McMonkey is finishing up phase 3 of Tron next. Or is it phase 2?
Phase 2? Ooh, excuse me. Phase 2.
I mean, there's 3 heads.
True enough. Shkoople, unfortunately, kicking the bucket, but thankfully with that fairy, allows him to go ahead and keep going.
Out of curiosity, where was that bottle?
I want to say hammer pegs. Because
okay.
Because McMonkey has a fairy in a bottle, and he went ahead and did that, so...
Monkey trying to get that hook speed, but didn't quite. As Shkoople is heading up the tower to face Aga 2, and TDG is getting deeper into T-Rock.
In the meantime, TDG is trying to get past the elusive chain jump. It's probably the most hated room for most runners.
They're so random, but they're not. We get to see the right side here.
Interesting.
Shkoople's getting ready to go fight the big pig.
He'll be the second one in the pyramid to fight the big man himself, and most likely be the second one to finish. So, meanwhile, McMonkey is going to check these 4 checks. We know they're not nothing, but let's see if there's something to help supplement him. Unfortunately, it's just money and a compass, and oh hey, magic powder, safeties. That's actually.
I would have liked to have that.
Yeah, that's a lovely safety to have. And he gets an extra key for his troubles once he's gonna see the big key. Actually, no. Once you see the big key, he's probably gonna just bounce on out.
No, go ahead and get that second key, so that way he doesn't have to kill the mini Helma.
Yeah, it's a little safer. I just had a moment of realizing, watching these folks go to the right side, I was like, why didn't I go to Hope Room first? I was like, been playing NMG a lot. So just autopiloted going left.
Meanwhile, Shkoople sitting a little bit less than half magic, using the cape to ensure that he does enough damage to Ganon to get out of the dreadful second phase. And I do definitely mean dreadful second phase, because those. Oh no! Okay, no.
Oh my goodness, that needs to be clipped.
he had the hammer out by accident, and somehow still manages the torch glitch. Shkoople's giving us anxiety here. I wonder if that was intentional or not, because that couldn't have not been intentional.
Could be nerves.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. But he's getting triples though.
Yeah, it's really solid. It's possible that he canceled Ganon's text box with the L and R buttons, and then I did a quick swap over. Nice GG, Shkoople.
That is a very clean Ganon fight too. And with a time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 19 seconds, or 20 seconds, Shkoople is our second runner to finish the seed. A really good Ganon. Get your GGs out for Shkoople for a job well done. Meanwhile, McMonkey is finishing up his Landmost 2 fight And TDG is on the just finishing up his Trinex fight as well. So he'll be entering the dungeon, well, again, his tower at 4, while McMonkey is working his way up the tower to get to the third part of it. Having some trouble getting the Samora block to kill due to trick shot Samora block to kill the 3 others to get the last one. But that's fine. He is doing a pretty good job of taking care of him now. Hopefully, hopefully he should have enough magic. I like to think he has enough magic to do these torches now.
Yeah, it looks like he has a blue potion.
That would be very good to have right now. But yeah, he manages to get there. Now he has to take this big pot right here.
As TDG enters and turns right.
So he'll be getting magic powder, and he'll probably be a little bit disappointed that he'll have to that the big key is on the torch.
As we are joined by Shkoople. GG, Shkoople. What'd you think of that seed?
It was really fun until Hair Basement.
Yeah, we were just like talking about how disgusting. Well, I wouldn't say disgusting, but that was just a huge gamble.
Well, I mean, you had like so many things open in the seed. I would skip that every single time, so I don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, I think
It usually pays off to skip. I never skip it. I never skip it, and usually it does not pay off. But I'm paranoid, so I was like, I have to check it.
Oh, that's my least favorite room in rando, so I skip it even if it's not a good idea.
Just want to say, McMonkey just hovered Moldrum 2.
Yo,
amazing!
What a champ!
So even in 3rd place, he's finishing up in style, doing that hover. Fantastic work. But yeah, like there was a lot that was opened up to you, especially after I think Paradox K with the Moon Pro and such. So yeah, it was the logical choice of skipping out on the basement to do the rest of the other checks. And TDG is now going into the first part of Ganon's Tower's Gauntlet. Doing a solid work on clearing out the mimics. Meanwhile, McMonkey just finished up his Aga 2 fight. He'll be fighting the big man soon.
Increasing that bonk counter, by the way.
Increasing that bonk count. I mean, if you're not increasing your bonk count, what are you doing with your life?
Alright, Shkoople. I hate to ask this, but I must ask this. At what point did you think, oh crap, do I need to go to Hair Basement?
I mean, it was a 50-50 between it and Sick Kid for me, but I forgot to mark the bottle on my tracker, so I did not. I just thought it was Hair Basement. I thought it was last located.
And unfortunately, TDG took a death during the climb. Thankfully, it was at the very early part of it, so he didn't lose out as much time. Like, it only hurts a lot when you're like at the near the end of it and you kick the bucket or you die to Aga 2 somehow. Though that can happen sometimes. And if it does, then you just have to take it as is and just push forward. Or you can just, you could just type /FF, I won't judge you for forfeiting on that one.
No, if you get quadrant glitch, that's when you type /FF.
Yep. Yeah. Oh no, quadrant glitch. Or if you're like me during the league season, you end up glitching on the, I think, what was it? Blind on Turtle Rock. I end up doing the silly thing of still having my cape on, and I dashed through it, and that caused me to like glitch into like the wall, and I couldn't like do anything at all. And down goes the big man for McMonkey, as he is our third runner for the seed to finish up with the time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 40 seconds. Get your GGs out for McMonkey for doing a job well done. All that's left now is for TDG to finish up his run, and he is currently fighting the Lamos to fight, taking both Lamos out in a good fashion. Moving on to the, did I call it like the third phase? Oh wait, no, he stopped.
Yeah, it looks like TDG has us out the 4/5 race. GG to TDG. And we are joined by both McMonkey and TDG. GG, both of y'all.
Good work out there.
Thanks.
Yes, indeed, GG's.
So we have a question. What were your thoughts on Hera Basement?
I can never. Go ahead.
I'm 100% fine with skipping Hera Basement, and I would do it 100 out of 100 times there. Just got mitts, the whole world opened up. I'm not spending an extra minute to do Hera Basement there. Yeah, hardly ever. Yeah, I can't think of a scenario where I will there.
Yeah, that's an understandable notion right there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every time I gamble that location, no matter which way I go, it's wrong. Usually, like I'll skip that. If I have the mirror, maybe I'll go back down. If it's like, man, I still don't have a lot to check. Like with the mirror, I'll go back down. But with the ability to finish the rest of Dark Death Mountain, and you've got Pod, Thieves Town, Crystals, I'm like, there's no way. Like it's one item. Come on. And
yeah, it's one of those worst burns, to be honest. Like, you have all this stuff opened up to you, and you like, we're not gonna waste time here, and it ends up like being one of your most crucial items that you'll need, especially for Pod to move around there.
Yeah, so Vertz, my question to you is like, okay, fine, coin flip Hera, you guessed right, we all guessed wrong. My question is, how the heck did you Galaxy Brain Desert Palace?
So my route was after I got the mirror, I went to Swamp, I did Pod, then went to Thieves Town. At that point, I think once I finished the mountain, I only needed Flute, Bombos for Turtle Rock, and then whatever was needed for Mire. So got the Flute out of Thieves Town, activated it, went to Mire, saw it was Bombos, cleared the other stuff there, and then just said, I'll dip into Desert. I'm already here. The rest of the stuff is all together on the overworld, so I can go do that next. And then got Bombos and said, oh, gotta go.
Wow.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That mirror certainly turns this into a jet seed.
Yeah, my philosophy on Hera Basement is pretty much always do it, because I'm paranoid and I will always feel scared if I skip it, but I totally get why people skip it.
Yeah, that was a huge debate in chat whenever the whole Hera Basement was happening. It's like, do you go to it? Do you not? When do you go to it? Yeah. So essentially, it's a gamble. Period.
Well, I mean, yeah, the odds are like all in our favor, but the one time it's there, this happens. So If you do want to be safe, you get it. If you want to gamble, you skip it.
Shkoople, how much did you do before going back for it? You obviously skipped it the first time, right?
Yeah, it was a 50-50 for me between Sick Kid and that, but I forgot to mark the bottle, so I didn't know about Sick Kid at the time. So it was my last location, I thought.
So you did like ice, Skullwoods, everything.
I did everything, yeah. Turning Green
Okay.
Pendant went. Yeah, the only thing I didn't do was
Yeah,
Sick
same
Kid.
here.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have any other questions. Do you? By any chance, partner?
No, y'all have anything y'all want to say before we start cutting out of here?
Well, thanks to the crew. Thanks for putting on the restream. And good job, Vertz. That's a hell of a time.
Yeah,
Congrats.
thank you. And thank you all for the race, and thanks Restream crew as well, like McMonkey said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
GG's. that was
GG
fun.
Vertz,
Thanks for
well
having me.
done. Well done.
GG's, gang.
And, you know, this wouldn't be possible without y'all running it. So thank y'all for displaying skill for us, and we appreciate y'all. Give all of our runners a follow, by the way.
Yeah, don't forget to give the Goma podcast as well a follow, as well as our trackers, otherTom and malmo, as well as our Restreamer, who did a fantastic work of getting it all together, Cinaeth, as well as us, the commentators as well, EsperHubb and Mocha Jones. I do believe that wraps it up.
Yeah, and with that, there will be a race next week. Next week will be what's called a grudge match, and we are waiting to see who's going to be running in that grudge match. So definitely go get in that Discord so you can find out who's going to be running, or if you want to have your own grudge match with someone, sign up. So with that, we are going to wish y'all a good night and see y'all next time.
Thank you very much for watching.